We are taking our first Italian road trip ever, the most famous Italian region for wine here in Tuscany. We are driving 2.5 hours from Bologna down to Val d'Orcia for the region that we're going to go wine tasting in. We'll uncork the secret of this world-renowned wine region, steeped in history and wine traditions. We're going to take you to 2 towns in this region, Montalcino and Montepulciano, to explore some great wineries, as well as try some local Tuscan cuisine. Let's get tipsy, y'all. But we just got to the airport and now we're gonna go try to find the rental car spot. We ended up booking through discovercars.com. It's basically like an aggregate for all different types of rental cars.
The Expedia for cars.
Yeah, the reason we picked the airport is it was almost $100 cheaper to come to the airport to rent the car than to get it from the train station, which was super close to the house. So we have a little bit of time and we're just waiting for them to open so we can grab the car and hit the road. Rental car, where are you? Here she is. Before you leave with your rental car, you always take a video around the outside of it just for evidence in case they try to stick something on you. It's just more of an insurance policy.
I haven't driven in like 6 months.
It's very strange to be back in a car like this. This is also our first road trip since we sold the RV. Chris will be the sole driver for this. He had his driver's license translated to Italian, which is required, or you can go through AAA in the States to get an international permit. You are required to do this in Italy. You can't just rent a car without either of these. So you can either have your driver's license translated and sworn, or you can go ahead and go through AAA. When you think of Montepulciano as a red wine, the one that we're usually more accustomed to in the States is Montepulciano Abruzzo. And Abruzzo is actually the region in Italy that Montepulciano comes from. This particular Montepulciano received the DOC and the DOCG designation when it first came out. It is called Vino Nobile di Montepulciano. The other major town in this little area that we're going to is Montalcino, and they're known for their Brunello, which is also one of the original wines to receive that designation of DOC and DOCG. If you're interested in learning more about the Italian classifications of wine, we have a whole guide on our blog. I'll go ahead and link it in the description below. We just got our first look at Pienza and one of the hilltop towns. It is stunning. The pictures and the videos are never gonna do this place justice. I can't even begin to describe how crazy all of these towns are just on the hilltops here.
Your destination is on the right.
For this trip, we have chosen to stay at an agritourism place. When you think of Tuscany and the beautiful villas, it's essentially that. So it's a private bed and breakfast. It's usually tucked away, not in a major town. We actually have to work half day today, and they were super nice to let us use the kitchen breakfast area so that we can work for a few hours before our room is ready. So we will be here for a few hours, then we'll move to the room, we'll show you guys around, and then we're gonna head out for some wine tasting and dinner tonight. Our accommodations came with a pool, which really had the most epic view of Pienza. While it was way too cold to go swimming, we were able to check into our room. We had a shared kitchen living room area with a room next door, but our room was a great double bed, which had a private ensuite bath. We are off of work and we are actually headed to our first tasting. We kind of went off the beaten path this go round. We kind of booked this somewhat last minute. A lot of the wineries were reserved and a lot of bookings already. But we found some unique places that just because they're not the most popular doesn't make them not awesome. Our first stop is actually going to be wine, beer, and some food. So we went ahead and did the self-guided tasting, and shockingly enough, on our wine weekend, our first drink is gonna be a beer. But here, this is an organic farm, winery, brewery. There are no pesticides or any sort of additives to the actual wine. There could be some sediments in the wines here. We also have a cheese plate and bread. They also have their own olive oil. So this self-guided tasting was 20 euros. per person, and we are happy to dig in before our dinner.
First up, we have the table beer. So super light, just about 3.5% according to the tasting notes here. But it does have some spices and aromas. It kind of gives that Hefeweizen notes to it. Really good starter though.
We just parked the car and now we're gonna go walk around Pienza. We have dinner reservations at 8, so we're gonna go see what the town has to offer.
So the city of Pienza was actually founded in the 8th century BC, but it really started coming into its own in the 1400s. Like most Italian cities, it's got its central square, the Piazza Pio II, named for Pope Pius II. And then from there, it's got a lot of noble homes and noble buildings surrounding that central square. And the architecture here is really, really influenced by the Renaissance because that was the period in which this city was founded.
It actually was recognized in 1996 as a UNESCO World Heritage Site for that sole reason. While Pienza itself doesn't actually have a big wine region here like its neighbors, it does actually have a lot of wine bars here that all showcase the grapes of the region. Behind me is the most amazing view of Val d'Orcia. Can't you guys tell when you come here during non-daylight savings time or daylight savings time? I'm not sure which one it is. We continued to stroll around until it was time for our dinner at Sette de Vino. Trying not to be rude, disrespectful. We're in a very crowded room for dinner, so I'm not gonna say much, but I will show you guys what we get. That was great. In short, there was maybe 12 tables.
Handwritten menu.
Handwritten menu.
Also, not your typical Italian restaurant either. So no pasta, no pizza.
Very, very good. Yeah, and it was cheap. It was like $32 for all of that. No wine tonight. Big wine weekend ahead of us. On that note, we are getting up bright and early tomorrow to go to a magical healing hot spring. And then we're off for a day of wine tasting. Good night. Good morning. It is early. For someone that's on vacation, it's early. We're gonna go to hot springs. Woo! I need coffee so bad. Do you want to try talking? Y'all, we're not even there yet, and the smell of the bass, that like sulfur, rotten egg smell, is infiltrated the car. It's cold out, so I'm really hoping these hot springs are actually hot because I'm very cold. I read online that these were actually hot. There are some that were actually closer to where we were staying that were not hot, which is why we drove an extra 20 minutes to get down here. I see lots of steam coming off of it, which is a good sign. We are going to the White Whale. I will tell you more once we get there. It's roughly an 8-minute walk from where you park, so it's not super far. It's cold. Like the water is hot right here, but it's cold in general. It's pretty cold out this morning. It was in the 40s, so I feel a little insane. The water is very nice, so once you're in it and you find a spot to sit, but it is very, very cold. We found a little hot tub area. It's about, I don't know what, 2 feet deep, 3 feet deep here. And it's unbelievable. These hot springs have been known since the ancient times. Archaeological evidence actually shows the Etruscans using these baths for their healing properties, and later the Romans. During the Middle Ages, a nearby abbey actually used this area for wellness and spirituality, and the monks were known to visit it as well.
So my top half is very cold. Bottom half feels great. I do feel very healed. Apparently the higher you climb, it does get a little bit warmer. Didn't really have the footwear. I'm really not up for a muddy climb this morning. We're enjoying it right here though.
Couple of tips if you're gonna do this on your Tuscany trip. 1, bring a change of clothes if it is in the fall like it is for us. Being in a wet bathing suit was miserable. We literally just changed in the woods here. Number 2, definitely need some sort of footwear. The baths themselves had lots of little pebbles and some slate chips. It was just in general not great to walk on, let alone sit on for a long time. Definitely get here early. We got here at 7:30, just a handful of cars. It is now 8:15 and there are a good bit of people here. We're heading back to the place that we're staying. staying and we're gonna get cleaned up. We have a day of wine tastings that we're gonna go do in Montalcino. Founded in 1964, Paradiso di Cacucci sits just outside of Montalcino. This winery prides themselves on the biodynamic practices with minimal intervention, no herbicides, pesticides. Once they harvest, they even hand pick out the grapes to know which ones are going into the bottles. We just got here for our 10:30 tasting, which includes a cellar tour. We are currently tasting two different Brunellos side by side. This is a vertical tasting. We're tasting the same wine from the same vineyard, but two different years. This one in this hand is a 2017, and this one is a 2015. It was made the exact same way, but because the climate is not part of the controls, right? It's not the constant. They vary drastically. So even though the winemaker makes the wine identically, they're so different. So with the 15, I'm getting some jam. Yeah, I'm getting like fig jam, and with the 17, I don't know, I get more like a dark berry of some sort, more tart. Both of them are fantastic, and we're gonna have a really tough decision to make which bottle we're gonna get. I thought we'd get both. We are just leaving. It was so good. The wines were great. Our tasting was 25 euros a person. It was actually 3 wines with snacks, but they gave us tastings of 5 wines. And one of the wines that we tasted was their Rosso, which is kind of like a little brother to the Brunello. It doesn't have all the crazy standards that the Brunello has, but it still has a lot of the same qualities and grapes. It was a bit cheaper in our price range at around 40 euros for this bottle, with Brunellos coming in a bit higher between the $60 and $100 range, depending on the vintage that you chose to buy. We are heading, we're heading.
We're heading south.
My country was showing. We are going up into Montalcino for lunch and maybe another wine tasting. We don't have anything else until 2 o'clock today. It's right around 11:30. The thing about these hilltop towns is there's not a lot of parking, so we've had to walk up this hill. We're still climbing so that we can just get to where the parking meter is, we can pay, and then go up even further into town. The ticket machine was at the top of the hill, and it requires you to put the ticket in the dash at the bottom of the hill. Okay, you go enjoy the city. I'm gonna be here the rest of the day. The first documented mention of Montalcino dates back to the 800s. The town began to actually take shape during the Middle Ages. Now in the 14th century, the same monks that we were talking about in the hot springs had the first recorded documentation of Brunello, which is the wine we just had. Now, as time evolved, it actually started to take shape as a civilization and a settlement here with the help of the grapes. We have limited time here since our tasting's at 2, and we just found this hole-in-the-wall little pizza place. Nobody was in there. This fresh margarita pizza just came out of the oven, and we grabbed 4 slices, and now we're sitting outside in the piazza. It's a beautiful day, about to enjoy some pizza. San Polo was actually founded in 1994 in the original Brunello production zone and is one of the highest wineries in the region at around 1,400 feet in elevation. This winery estate spans over 50 acres, with 20 of them dedicated to the DOCG Brunello grapes. Like many of the wineries in the area, they do try to not use as many herbicides and pesticides so that it is very environmentally sound and safe and more organic and biodynamic. What is the word? Dynamic. Biodynamic. San Polo was purchased in 2007, and it's actually a team of sisters that are running the winery today. We have a tasting scheduled at this beautiful location, and we are very eager to see what their wine tastes like.
Now, if you're interested in where we've been exactly on this Tuscan wine weekend, we have a full blog on our website, and we will leave the link to that in the description below.
We had a private tasting with one of the owners, so we didn't really have to tell you guys much about it. We had 4 different types of wine. We had a Rosso, we had 2 Brunellos, table wine. So we had 4 in total. The cheese plate we had was phenomenal, and this view is incredible.
We have vines to my left
And this view to the right, and more vines. So yeah, just vines everywhere. We did buy a bottle here. We got the Rosso.
You guys just ate a bug.
It's been a day. Okay. We are going to try to get to one more place before the sun goes down. We don't have a reservation. We actually know a sommelier in Bologna who recommended it, so we're gonna head there next. This place that we're going to, again, completely unplanned. I have no idea if we're gonna be able to get in. I texted our friend who's a som, and he said to pick up any bottle of Brunello. He does not care which one it is, but he wants one. So if he wants one at that recommendation, I'm gonna say it must be really good. We're totally not supposed to be here. One of the owners came over and was like, can we help you? And I was like, can we just buy some bottles? And they said yes. Apparently they're only by appointment only.
A few moments later.
Y'all, they were not open. She was so sweet. Her name's Athena. She came out, she did a tasting with us, and then we got a lot of bottles. One of the most unique things about this winery is they actually age the wine for you. Their philosophy is that you shouldn't buy the bottle of wine, that you have to age it. And it is just mind-blowing to me because I've never thought about it that way. We literally got a 2008, a 2006, and I think the other one is an 07. They're doing it out of their house down into the cellar to do the tasting. We did do the drinking in the cellar. I'm not wrong. This wine was so good. It has been such an eventful day. We have dinner now. We have reservations at 7:30. They didn't have many options for seating, so it was 7:30. That was amazing. I got the beef tartare, and then I got the tomato soup, which we've had before. It's soup and bread, and it's just really good. And then I got a pasta that had tomato and garlic for the sauce. Oh my God, it was so good.
I got the pappardelle pasta with Tuscan ragu. I think it was cingale, which is wild boar. Ribs with honey and paprika. So very different than your US ribs, but delicious.
It was fantastic, y'all. I mean, highly recommend it. And we're going home. We're gonna go to sleep. We had a really big day. We got up super early to go to the springs this morning, the hot springs, and we have a big day tomorrow with some tastings up in Montepulciano. See you tomorrow.
In part 2, we drive to the medieval town of Montepulciano as we sample the infamous Vino Nobile di Montepulciano wine. More wineries, cellar tours, and wine tastings ahead. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss part 2 of this video. It's a big adventure with a surprise drink ending. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. See you in the next video.